Good morning. I am back at my spot, one of my favorite places in Crate Park in my hometown, and it's New Year's Eve. So happy New Year's Eve. How you doing? I have just a couple of messages for you today. So number one, I encourage you to recap this past year. What did you learn? And start out with three things that you did great. What are three things that you learned or grew or accomplished? What are three things that you're proud of? Three things that you're grateful for? Three things that happened that were great in 2021. Then do three things that you want to, we've talked about our three to thrive. What are the three things that you want to work on the start of 2022 and get clarity with regards to those things? What is it specifically that you want? What are the three things that you really are going to work on in the first quarter, first half of the year for 2022? My final message of 2021 is this two things. Number one, you are not broken. Nobody is broken. I don't care how dark it seems right now, or if you're in that space or you were during this year that you really didn't see how you were going to come out of this. I don't care what you've been through, because we can all, we've always found people that have been through more, and that's not to take away from what you've been through, because whatever it is, it's absolutely significant, and your feelings are real, and you're entitled to them. But you are not broken. Nobody is broken. You can be have suffered a trauma, you can have triggers, you can have reactions, you can have all of those things, but it all can be overcome. Everything is fixable. Everything is a lesson. Everything is a gift. Everything is how we define it. And one thing that I've learned in the years that I've been in the communities that I have is you are far from broken, and you can move on from here and figure out the next stage of your life. Number two, you are right where you're supposed to be. Not only are you not broken, but you are right where you're supposed to be to go on to the next thing. If you are valuing your life right now and you are looking at where I go from here, then you are exactly where you're supposed to be. One of the things that we do is we look backwards and go, God, if I'd have done this, if I'd have done that, if I'd have just taken this left turn instead of this right turn, if I would have invested in this when I had the opportunity. I several years ago, 3 years ago, in fact, I was had the opportunity to be talking to one of the greatest traders in the stock market in the history of the stock market, Ray Dalio, and it just so happened that I was face to face with him, and he told a group of us to buy Bitcoin when it was at $1,700 a Bitcoin, and I bought some, but I look back and I go, why the hell didn't I liquidate everything that I had? And I had one of the best investors ever telling me to buy Bitcoin, and I didn't, and I did it, but I didn't do it all in. But those lessons are what bring you to where you are today. And now you're wiser and ready for the next step of your life. So, whatever those lessons are, had you not had those lessons, you wouldn't be the person that is standing in the mirror right now, ready to go on to the next phase and go on to 2022. So, you are right where you are supposed to be. And if you are somebody that's riding high right now, if you're somebody that is just killing it, that everything is going great, then stop and take a minute to appreciate everything that you've got. Appreciate what the year has delivered for you. Not everybody has had a terrible year in 2022. Some people have had fantastic years in 2022. Some people have done awesome. And if you're one of those people, then stop and just take a minute to feel the gratitude for that. Stop and enjoy the ride. We get so worried about the end. We get so worried about accomplishing the goal. And there's so many of us, especially achievers, that don't feel successful unless they've achieved everything in the world and been the king of the earth. And then I'll feel successful. When the truth is, if you've learned something, if you've grown, if you've achieved any outcome that you can learn from, then you are in fact successful. And if you're taking the time to value your life and where you're going to go from here, then you're successful. Whatever has happened, you're successful. So for you overachievers out there that don't feel success unless everything has worked out completely perfectly, stop and give yourself grace, because everything is never going to work out completely perfectly. Life just doesn't happen that way. And as Ferris Bueller told us on his day off, life goes by pretty fast. You got to stop and look around once in a while. Today's a good day to do that. Stop and look around and be grateful. So if you're in that dark place, you're not broken, and you're right where you're supposed to be to go on to the next step. I know it's a cliche. It's always darkest before the dawn. But how does a cliche become a cliche? Because it's true. And if you're one of those that's riding high on the wave right now, then enjoy it. enjoy that you are, take that gratitude in for where you are, because as we know, life doesn't go in one direction. That wave's going to go down at some point and you're going to have another challenge. If a wave's not hitting you, one's on the way. So you might as well learn to become a surfer. So in 2022, our three to thrive, we're going to be grateful. We're going to focus on our outcomes. We're going to learn from our lessons in the past, but we're not going to live there. We're not going to drive down the road looking through a rearview mirror. And we're going to focus on one or two or three individual things. Have a great day, everybody. Be safe out there. Make good choices. If you're out partying, go have a great time, but don't get behind the wheel of a vehicle, please. If you need a ride, give somebody a call. You can give me a call, and I'll come get you. Have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other. See you next year.